I forgot the one thing.
And I'll leave the 10-point rating.
Okay. Good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning. How are you? It is 8:01 on a Monday morning. I'm technical difficulties. Anyway, good morning. Rise and shine. This is Coffee Talk on a Monday morning, May the 5th. Rise and shine. Good morning, everybody. Let's look outside. Tower Cam Network looking gorgeous. Top left corner, the tourist district. It's 70 degrees. A little bit of cloud cover. Bottom left corner, it's 70 as well. Perfect start over at the Kennedy Space Center. No matter where you are in Central Florida, we have a beautiful, beautiful morning ahead. First warning, live Doppler radar. Scanning around, did have some showers way off of the East Coast just a little bit ago. And as a matter of fact, you kind of see them exiting our radar's range. I was seeing Kellyanne tracking this stuff this morning, and I'm like, I need to tweak the radar. So made a couple of settings. Here's the Melbourne radar. You can see it a little bit better. Thunder and lightning out that way. There's the prefrontal trough, essentially, moving away from us. But we have enough energy in the atmosphere to help to set up for some storms later on today. Current temperature sitting at 69 in Orlando. It's 70 degrees in DeLand, 71 in Sanford. Beautiful morning. It's a beautiful morning. Look at that forecast for today. We're working our way to 85 by 1 o'clock, 89 our afternoon high temperature. And then we get those afternoon showers and thunder showers popping on up. It's not going to be a complete washout of a day, but it is going to be a day where, yes, we've got a little bit of moisture to deal with. And that's fine. That's totally good. We're going to be good. Hope you're having a great start to the day. Jan, good morning to you. Heather, good morning. Good morning. Connie, good morning. It's a beautiful morning, isn't it? It is a beautiful, beautiful morning. What are your plans today, y'all? Are we ready for an almost summer pattern, right? Like this is kind of that, right? We're there. It's not full on summer, but we're almost there. All right, let me make the graphics resolution a little bit better. All right, fixing itself. Perfect. I working out all the bugs. That's okay. It'll clear itself out here in a couple of minutes. But yeah, we've got some storms in the forecast today. And we're going to continue to see that kind of a pattern over the next few days, too. I'm super happy to say, got some decent rains yesterday, y'all. Got some decent rains yesterday. It's not like a drought buster per se, but look at some of these numbers. Orlando got almost an inch of rain. I'm at Sanford. Sanford got 3/10 of an inch of rain. Leesburg, about a half. I got 0.51 or so at my house. That's pretty satisfying. That's pretty satisfying. Now, what about today? We had talked about the opportunities for rain, so let's look ahead, okay? Stand by. Click that button. Type that. All right, let's look at futurecast today. All right. So first off, this morning it's gorgeous. I'm sitting at the Sanford Airport, hanging here in the pilot's lounge. It's a beautiful morning. Let's look ahead though. Okay, on futurecast, rolling through time. Couple of showers popping up around lunchtime. By 2 p.m., showers turning to thunder showers. 3, 4 o'clock, all working east. So it's really metro off to the east, right? In that kind of window there, back and forth, right? You kind of get the idea, right? So in terms of rainfall, if I type that out, let's run our futurecast accumulation product. How much rain could we be running through? All right, so through today, futurecast is saying most of us get roughly a half inch of rain or less. But of course, we know that there is that chance for some of us to see even more. So that is excellent, excellent news. Excellent. I will take that. We need that. We need that. Have I said we need that? I think so. So there's that. Now, looking ahead and beyond, okay? Today we've got that opportunity for storms. We're calling it impact weather because the idea is some of those cells could try to get a little feisty. All right, Storm Prediction Center has put us under a level 1 out of 5 risk for strong and severe storms. I'll show it to you. Mainly, it's our eastern areas, just to highlight that. Metro off to the east. So for perspective purposes, okay? And, the atmosphere is such that we could see some damaging wind gusts in there. If they get tall enough, they could tap into some of the colder air loft, drive that down. So you could be talking about a little bit of hail. Sure, heavy rain, got it. Perfect. Not upset about it. And given that it's a sea breeze-esque scenario, there's always the chance of a brief spin-up tornado. Remember, Central Florida gets more tornadoes than you probably realize. I would say even Florida gets more tornadoes than you probably realize, but they're typically very, very weak, very, very short-lived, right? And it's out in the cow pasture, right? Something like that, where it's just messing up, Bob's farm. And it's like, well, the cows aren't going to be eating that grass. It got tore up by the tornado. So, it is what it is. We go on with our life. All right. So 7-day forecast illustrating that it's not just today for storms. Let's look at what happens. Kind of an interesting little scenario here. Tomorrow we dry out a sprinkle or two. There's still a percentage there, so giddy up to that. But then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, something changes atmospherically that helps us out. Let me show you the surface map. There's that trough you can see sitting off of our east coast, the remnants of what was that front that had moved through. Remember, we are still technically seeing a cold front. We saw that yesterday, even if our temperature doesn't get cold. Textbook definition. Dak nabbit. All right, so Tuesday, we turn drier. We have some remnant moisture, but there's no kind of thrust of energy. By Wednesday, watch that red line. That's a warm front. So there's a storm system over Mississippi, but out ahead of it, it's sweeping a warm front through. And that warm front dials up the energy. It dials up the chances for rain, right? That's where we get more active and destabilizing the atmosphere. And essentially, as that weak front dies north of us, we've already been destabilized from the warm front. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday into the weekend, that chance of rain is going to persist. So again, notice, yes, tomorrow is going to be a bit of a drier pattern, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right through Mother's Day and even beyond, there is that opportunity for rainfall. Okay. I also spy with my little eye 92 degrees for Wednesday and Thursday. That's why they call it a warm front. That is your meteorological lesson for the day. So, yay, us. So fun. All right. Questions, comments, concerns. I do want to look at the models because they have been hinting at tropical stuff. But before I do that, where are you? Are you good? Do we need extra office hours here? You okay? How we thinking? How we feeling? Not excellent for Northeast Ocala. You'll get your rainfall. At the current juncture, the overall idea, though, is that the best chances for rainfall, the highest amount of rainfall accumulation, sits east of us. This is what's called the QPF product from the National Weather Service. Essentially, they look at all the models and they just kind of try and say, all right, over the next 7 days, how much rain you talking? And clearly, the heaviest concentration is from about the I-4 corridor off to the east. So there's that. All right. All right, let's look at the tropics, shall we? Weather, of course I have to log in because I hate you. All right, hold on, I have to remember my password. Alex Alisi's been logging in, which is funny because he's been at a competitor TV station, but here we are. I have to check my email. Hold on, it'll let me through. Stand by, people. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. You drive on a parking lot and park. Wait, what is it? You drive on a parkway, park on a driveway, discuss. And if you get the Linda Richmond reference, then you're doing better than, okay. All right, I did that. So that means then, hold on. If I refresh you, it's going to now ask for my password because I hate you. Hold on, hit that button, hit that button. I did. I checked my email. Okay, maps, GFS. There we are. Okay, so we're going to do pressure, normalized anomaly. We'll do oceanic. We'll do Caribbean. All right, perfect. All right, so let's look tropically, okay? Remember, this is a map that looks at pressure and pressure only, and it over accentuates it by the cooler colors and the warmer colors. Warmer colors, high pressure, cooler colors, low pressure. All right, lowish pressure over top of us. Big surprise. What are we dealing with? Thunderstorms, moisture, yada, yada, yada. All right, rolling through. Look east of us. GFS trying to lower pressure out near Bermuda. Anything significant? Probably not, but something there. And then around the 10th and the 11th, still showing something out in the Gulf. That fits the overall, remember, we do long range forecasting, and that fits the long range part of the weather pattern that we have discussed for months. The severe weather over Louisiana a couple of days ago was the Sarah part of the weather pattern. And so, if you're interested in the long range hurricane forecasting that we do, head over to wesh.com/hurricanes. And then you can click on the link that has the 2025 hurricane forecast. That Gulf low is absolutely a part of that pattern. And then after that, high pressure. Oh, look at you, GFS. Okay, so that's the 15th of May, a little CAG low. All right, if you're not familiar with the term CAG, it is a Central American gyre. Essentially, low pressure develops over Central America because moisture's coming in from the Pacific, moisture's coming in from the Caribbean. It's just all kind of sitting there rotating. And this time of year, you end up with these little areas of low pressure. Look at you developing a hurricane. Look at you, you cute little GFS. If you're new to Coffee Talk, I would add the GFS loves to do this. It loves by like so that's our 228, usually 250 to 300 hours out. The GFS loves it, but that's the first time I've seen the GFS throwing a hurricane together this year. So watching the Caribbean, this model has it going to Cuba. If we go back one model run, it's got it's got something. Does that happen? We'll see. The GFS is doing GFS things. If we switch over to the European just for safety, we'll go one model run back. There's that low in the Gulf, which we expect. Notice the European. Oh, actually, the European does kind of have some moisture. It's not developing a hurricane, but there's some moisture there. So anyway, interesting. We'll track it. We'll watch it. I'm not worried about it, but it's another reminder, to me at least, that hurricane season's right around the corner. When it's starting to throw CAG lows at you, there's your sign, as Jeff Foxworthy would say. So good times. All right. All right. Questions, comments, concerns. We'll do it fairly quick today. All right. Questions, comments, concerns. Donna, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. That's all the gobbledygook too far out right now. That's the GFS is drinking. Yeah, my brother Frank says the GFS is going to GFS. Here's to the drinking. Although mine is non-alcoholic. GFS is the hyper. Yeah, the GFS just loves to throw hurricanes out of the Caribbean. It does it all the time. When does the gyre usually develop? Early hurricane season, you typically see the CAGs trying. So there's that. All right. Got anything else? All right. We got showers. We got thunder showers. All right. Good times. And we've got gyres. Before you know it, Jeremy and I will be doing our Tracking the Tropics Tuesdays. I cannot believe it. The average high, by the way, I don't know if you notice on the bottom of the screen, that's 87 degrees. The average high is 87. Today's forecast is 89. We're not to the rainy season yet because we keep getting these weak fronts, but it's not going to be long, people. All right. All right, listen. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Take care. That's Bill Engvall. Foxworthy's, you might be right. Okay. All right. Wrong. Okay. Apologies. All right, listen. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Actually, maybe not. I need to figure it out. I'm going to play with the Hurricane Hunters tomorrow. I'll figure it out. I'll talk, even if it's from the car, we'll chat.